Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be looking at an amazing data sufficiency question that says P is a positive number and we need to determine if P is prime. Now, before we really dive into the question, we should be knowing a few things about prime numbers. Well, Amazon thinks music is prime, video is prime, pantry is prime, day is prime, everything is prime. I'm not talking about that prime. I'm talking about prime numbers. Let's have a look at some key points. So natural numbers. What are natural numbers? Natural numbers are nothing but numbers that are used for counting and ordering. Example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. And if you add 0 to such numbers, you get a set of whole numbers. So whole numbers are nothing but natural numbers including 0. Now prime numbers. A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that is not a product of two smaller natural numbers. We can also say it this way, that a prime number has only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself, or we can say that prime numbers are indivisible. Example 5. It can only be written as a product 1 into 5 or 5 into 1 and both mean the same. And all those natural numbers greater than 1 that are not prime are called composite numbers. Example 4, 6, 8, 9. Now 1, even though at number 1 is not considered a prime number and I sometimes feel bad for it. 2 is the smallest prime number and happens to be the only prime number that is even, and we should give some credit to it. After all, it became a prime number against all odds. Now we have this very important result over here that says if n is a prime number greater than 3, then it can be expressed as 6n plus minus 1, where n is a natural number. Now where did this expression come from? Let's derive it. So we have assumed n to be a prime number greater than 3. Since it is greater than 3, it can only be odd, 2 being the only prime number that is even. And if we add 1 to an odd number or subtract 1 from it, we get an even number. Hence we can say that n minus 1 and n plus 1 are both even, and therefore a multiple of 2, which can be written as 2n, n being a natural number. If you notice, n minus 1, n and n plus 1 form a set of 3 consecutive integers. Now one integer in every 3 consecutive integers is a multiple of 3. N being a prime number, it cannot have 3 as a factor, or we can say it this way, that it cannot be a multiple of 3. Thus either n minus 1 or n plus 1 should be a multiple of 3. And we have already seen that both are a multiple of 2. Hence either n minus 1 or n plus 1 would be a multiple of 2 and 3 both, that is multiple of 6. Now we can write this mathematically as n minus 1 is equal to 6n or n plus 1 is equal to 6n. Rearranging the equations, we can write n as either 6n plus 1 or 6n minus 1. The two equations can be combined and written as n is equal to 6n plus minus 1. This is the equation that I was talking about. But the vice versa is not always true. That is to say, every number that can be written as 6n plus minus 1 is not necessarily a prime number. Example 25. Now 25 can be written as 6 times 4 plus 1, that is 6n plus 1, but we know that 25 is not a prime number. Similarly, 35 can be written as 6 times 6 minus 1, that is of the form 6n minus 1, but we know that even 35 is not a prime number. Now when we express n as 6n minus 1, we essentially mean that when we divide such a prime number by 6, we get minus 1 as a remainder. Can we have a negative number as a remainder? Not really. This minus 1 can be written as minus 6 plus 5. 6 can be had common from the first two terms, and the equation can be rewritten as 6 times n minus 1 plus 5. So cannot we say that if we divide such a prime number, that is a prime number which is greater than 3, by 6, it always leaves either 1 or 5 as a remainder. Now we'll use this result to solve this question. Now coming back to the question in hand, the only information that we have been given here is that p is a positive number, but we know that every positive number is not prime. It can be composite or it can be one which is neither composite nor prime. So clearly this information is not sufficient for us to be able to answer the question. What question is p prime? We need some more data to be able to do so. Now we have been provided some pieces of information in the statements 1 and 2. We need to figure out what combination of these statements would allow us to answer the question objectively. That is, there should be no room for any ambiguity. So that is what data sufficiency questions are all about. Now we can try checking for some random values of p. Let's consider statement 1 first, which says that p plus 2 and p plus 4 are both prime. Now as long as we do not violate this condition, we can assume p to be any positive number. So let's draw a table here. Now we can assume p to be 1, then p plus 2 would be 3, which is a prime number, and p plus 4 would be 5, which is again a prime number, but we know that 1 is not a prime number, so p is not prime here. Now we should focus on finding such a value of p that is prime, because we need a contradicting result to prove the statement insufficient, and if we cannot do so, this statement has got to be sufficient. But we also need to take care that in doing so we do not contradict the fact or the information that has been given in the statement. So let's assume p to be a prime number. Let's take it 3, then p plus 2 would be 5, p plus 4 would be 7, and we know that both 5 and 7 are prime numbers, and 3 is also a prime number. So we get contradicting results here. So clearly the statement 1 alone is not sufficient to answer the question, and therefore we can get rid of options A and D. Now we can move on to statement 2. That says p minus 2 and p minus 4 both are prime. Let's try and plug in some random values of p. We can assume p to be 7. We get p minus 2 as 5 and p minus 4 as 3. We know that 7 is a prime number. Now if we could find out a value of p that is non-prime and at the same time it satisfies the condition which says that p minus 2 and p minus 4 are both prime, we could say that even statement 2 alone is not sufficient. So let's assume p to be 9, which is a non-prime number. So we get p minus 2 as 7 and p minus 4 as 5, and we know that 7 and 5 both are prime numbers. So we are not violating the condition that has been given in the statement 2. And 9 is not a prime number. So again we get contradicting results here. So we can safely say that even statement 2 is not sufficient, and hence we can get rid of option B as well. Now having done away with options A, B and D, we are left with options C and D. If you have reached till here, you have managed to level out the odds quite a bit. So even if you were to make a guess here, you stand 50% chance of hitting the correct option. But we won't stop here, because we now know this little yet important thing over here that says any prime number greater than 3 can be written as 6n plus minus 1. So we'll make use of this and eliminate one more option to get to the correct one. Okay, so for options C and E, we need to combine both the statements, and we do so only when we have considered both the statements separately and neither one comes out to be sufficient on its own. So let's combine both the statements, and the information that we now get is p minus 4, p minus 2, p plus 2 and p plus 4 all are prime. Now if we see a pattern over here, we see that if we add 2 to p minus 4, we get p minus 2, and if we add 4 to p minus 2, we get p plus 2, and if we again add 2 to p plus 2, we get p plus 4. So can p minus 4 be 2? We know that p minus 4 has to be a prime number, because this is the condition that we get when we combine both the statements. So can p minus 4 be 2? Now if we take p minus 4 to be 2 and add 2 to both sides of the equation, we get p minus 2 as 4, which we know is not a prime number. So p minus 4 cannot be 2. Okay, so can p minus 4 be 3? Now if p minus 4 is 3 and if we add 2 to it, we get p minus 2 as 5, and if we add 4 to p minus 2, we get p plus 2 as 9, which we know is not a prime number. So p minus 4 cannot be 3. So can we say that since p minus 4 is a prime number and it can neither be 2 nor be 3, it should be a prime number that can be expressed as 6n plus minus 1. Now we again take cases here. Now case 1, where we assume p minus 4 to be a prime number that can be written as 6n plus 1, and if we add 2 to it, we get p minus 2 as 6n plus 3. 3 can be taken as common here. Now since we get 3 as a common factor here, we can say that it is not a prime number or it cannot be a prime number. So p minus 4 cannot be written as 6n plus 1. So we take the second case here. So we can write p minus 4 as 6n minus 1, and if we add 2 to it, we get p minus 2 as 6n plus 1, and if we add 4 to p minus 2, we get p plus 2 as 6n plus 5, and we know that we can have 5 as a remainder when we divide a prime number by 6, and if we add 2 to it, we get p plus 4 as 6n plus 7. Now 7 can be split and written as 6 plus 1. 6 can be taken as common from the first two terms, and it can be written as 6 times n plus 1 plus 1. Now since n is a natural number, and if we add 1 to a natural number, we would always get a natural number. So let's assume this natural number to be n dash. So it can be written as 6n dash plus 1. Now if we use this equation, we can find p because we are interested in p. If we add 4 to both the sides of the equation, we get p as 6n plus 3, and we now know that 6n plus 3 is not a prime number. Now you can take n to be any natural number, you'll always get p as a non-prime number. So p turns out to be non-prime, and we can say so only when we combine both the given statements. Hence C should be our answer choice here. Now you could solve this part the way we did when we considered both the statements individually, but that would make it very lengthy, and if you do so on your real test, you would only kill a lot of time, and even then you will not be very confident saying that p will always be a non-prime number. Still, if you think that this question can be solved in a shorter way, please feel free to comment below. That is it for this video. See you in the next one. Till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe and stay sane.